Cane toads are on the march, sweeping across northern Australia into the wilds of the Kimberley. It's been disastrous for local wildlife.
Everyone seems fixated on a newly revealed strategy to protect Australia's wildlife. And honestly, the situation has reached a fever pitch. Scientists have officially begun deploying native ant species to target what is widely considered the most poisonous animal in the country. Local wildlife officers are now battling invasive toads with cutting-edge science. And on top of that, researchers have engineered a genetic anomaly that never grows past infancy, designed specifically to devour its own siblings. This project disappeared from public view for years, but now it's finally surfacing. So here's the reality. We're witnessing Clear's Throat, an outright cannibalistic war unfolding in Outback ponds. And the latest data coming in is guaranteed to stun you, because the figures are completely beyond expectations. To understand the origin of this chaos, we need to talk about the real culprit. When most people hear the name Peter Pan, they imagine a playful fictional boy who can fly and never ages. But deep within Australia's wilderness, there's a far darker version of Peter Pan. And this one isn't meant for children. Australia has repeatedly paid a steep price for interfering with nature, and true to its name, this Peter Pan never grows up either. Instead, it survives by consuming its own kind. Music, a team of highly skilled researchers, ran countless experiments, pushing these creatures to consume and destroy up to 99% of their own eggs. They believed this method could be the perfect solution to stopping an invasive species overrunning the continent. The trial results were extremely promising. Yet for one critical reason, music, the project never moved beyond controlled conditions. To understand why, we have to rewind to where everything went wrong. The problem began in the early 1900s. During that era, sugarcane dominated Queensland's economy, contributing more than 20% of the region's total agricultural value. Powerful sugar growers ruled the north and defended their crops at all costs. But just as profits soared, disaster struck. An insect known as the greyback cane beetle began ravaging plantations. The beetle larvae fed on sugarcane roots, slashing yields by up to 40% in certain areas. Farmers panicked. They needed an immediate fix or risk financial ruin. Reports began circulating from Puerto Rico about a certain species of toad said to devour the beetles. In 1932, Australian officials sought guidance, a decision that would later prove catastrophic. No serious effort was made to verify whether these toads actually consumed the pests. Music, there were no laboratory studies, no field experiments. Everything rested on hearsay. Hope replaced science. By 1935, roughly 102 cane toads from South America were imported via Hawaii. They were bred rapidly and released near Gordonvale in Queensland. Every cane toad now roaming Australia traces its lineage back to those original 102 individuals. Some still speculate the toads were introduced not just as pest control, but as an experimental form of biological management that spiraled out of control. At the time, no one believed a few dozen amphibians could cause widespread harm. But within about 70 years, they became an ecological nightmare. They consumed nearly anything they encountered, animals and plants alike, gradually displacing native species across entire regions. Today, nearly 500,000 square miles of Australia are dominated by an estimated 200 million cane toads. That's an astonishing figure. With Australia's human population hovering around 27 million, the toads outnumber people by a massive margin. They're nearly 20 times more numerous than all the koalas left on Earth. This was no harmless garden frog. The threat was expanding faster than anyone imagined. Cane toads are nothing like ordinary frogs. They rank among the most toxic creatures on land or in freshwater ecosystems. In South America, predators evolved alongside them for millions of years, learning how to avoid or survive their poison. Australia had no such protection. Native animals suddenly encountered a toxin they had zero defense against. The cane toad's body functions like a chemical weapon. Behind its head sit two large glands that secrete a milky substance, a powerful cocktail of toxins that attack the heart and nervous system. If a household dog merely licks a toad, music, seizures can begin almost immediately, and death can follow within an hour. A toad measuring just 8 inches carries enough poison to kill a full-grown crocodile. Some scientists suspect cane toads are evolving to become even more toxic as they confront stronger predators. Music. It's as if the brutality of the Outback is being absorbed and converted into venom. This isn't speculation. It's been observed in the Northern Territory. What makes matters worse is that the toxin exists at every life stage. It's present in the eggs, the tadpoles, music juveniles, and adults. Fish that eat the eggs die. Smaller fish that consume tadpoles die. Snakes and lizards that attempt to eat adults almost always die. Even brown snakes, among the world's deadliest, can perish within 30 minutes of biting a cane toad. Freshwater crocodiles, once apex predators of northern rivers, music, began dying in alarming numbers as toads invaded their habitats. In some regions, up to 70% of crocodiles disappeared in just a few years. Monitor lizards suffered even worse losses. In many places, 90% vanished following the toad's arrival. A single female toad can lay as many as 30,000 eggs at once and may reproduce twice yearly. That means billions of new toads are born annually. Tadpoles, though slightly less toxic than adults, are still lethal to native frogs and fish. Interestingly, certain bird species can consume them without dying, a detail that may become important later. Humans aren't immune either. Contact with a toad can cause skin burns and severe eye irritation. There are even unproven stories of northern communities using the toxin in rituals. Veterinarians in northern Australia treat toad poisoning cases weekly. The economic damage is equally severe. Environmental destruction is estimated to have cost over $2 billion, factoring in conservation efforts and lost tourism. Industries like mining, worth billions, also face risk. Then the nightmare escalated. Cane toads didn't just spread, they adapted. One overlooked fact is that Australian cane toads are now more toxic than their South American ancestors. A 2015 study found their poison glands had grown larger, with toxin concentrations roughly 50% higher. Some researchers believe the species is actively selecting for stronger venom. Worse still, their bodies are changing. Between 2018 and 2022, scientists observed cane toads evolving 5 to 10 times faster than typical animals. In newly invaded regions, their legs grew 6% longer, muscles strengthened, livers enlarged, and stress resistance improved. This allows them to travel farther without exhaustion. In the 1940s, a toad might move just 5 meters per year. By 2010, some traveled 40 meters annually, with record individuals covering 47 miles in a single year. That's faster than the width of a small nation. The Australian cane toad has become a biological superversion of itself. Some even speculate these toads operate with hive mind-like instincts, always locating water sources during droughts. A single error in 1935 created an unstoppable invasion. Native species are scrambling to adapt. Lizards have shifted diets. Some mammals evolved smaller heads to avoid swallowing adult toads, with populations rivaling Brazil's human count. Hand removal is futile. Trapping millions barely makes a dent. This led Professor Rick Shine to pursue a radical alternative: stop the babies. This idea sparked the Peter Pan Project. The goal was to create tadpoles that never mature. These modified tadpoles live 4 to 5 times longer than normal, giving them ample time to consume their species' eggs. Using CRISPR gene editing, scientists disabled the hormone that triggers metamorphosis. Each egg was manually injected. Success rates reached 70%. The resulting tadpoles were larger, stronger, and ferociously cannibalistic. One researcher noted that no eggs survive in ponds containing them. However, risks remain. If released broadly, they could potentially eliminate other amphibians. Still, data from 2023 to 2024 showed they could collapse the toad's reproductive cycle. Normal tadpoles live around 20 days. Peter Pan versions survive nearly 100. They wait as adults return repeatedly to lay eggs. Each modified tadpole can consume up to 35,000 eggs. They never reproduce and never leave the pond. Caution persists. Genetic changes can cause side effects. Albino test subjects suffered poor vision and low survival. Scientists fear unintended consequences. Meanwhile, Australia is also deploying native meat ants. These ants annihilate young toads at water's edge, eliminating up to 98% in minutes. They appear immune to toxins. Ant barriers are being scaled across the Kimberley region. Some theorize ants are evolving to hunt toads more efficiently, possibly even developing chemical detectors. Others fear the ants themselves could become a new threat. Billions are at stake. The goal is containment. The war continues. The Peter Pan project has advanced again in 2025. Tadpoles now remain aquatic permanently, growing larger and deadlier to eggs. A proposal exists to allow limited breeding under strict controls. Tests are ongoing, yet side effects persist. So here's the question. Should Australia unleash immortal cannibal tadpoles to end the invasion once and for all? Like the video and subscribe to follow the next chapter in this extraordinary battle for the Outback.